All right, guys, welcome to Trading with Meatball. And I had stopped making the videos because nobody was watching them. And I appreciate the nice comments and the likes and everything on the videos, but it actually helps me to go over the trades and talk about mistakes and talk about why we take the trades. And if you've never joined us before, I'm just an old man that used to be a stockbroker 20 years ago. And I got tired of the scams. I went through a divorce and went broke. And so I had to start over with nothing, literally nothing but a few $100s a month in disability and a laptop. And I'm making it, just barely, but I am. And we're starting to grow a little bit because we stopped listening to other people. And that's what our channel's about. We want you to learn how to draw lines on charts and draw your own zones. And then you don't need me or anybody else. And chasing the next hot stock tip or listening to the guru on Twitter who just wants you to clap like a baby seal when they post a picture of their lunch is not the path, guys. The path is for you to learn how to do this yourself, and you can. And we have lots of videos talking about why we took the trade and showing the indicators we use. I have Ripster's Clouds on the screen, and I am a student of his. And he has a paid system, but he provides a decent service, I think, and great educational content. But there's a lot of discords I paid for where they just trade too much and they trade too early, and you'll blow up your account in the first 5 minutes listening to them. And then you go on Twitter and they're posting 400% gains and pictures of the Lamborghini. It's a circle of friends. They interview each other on Twitter and YouTube, and you ain't in the circle. I paid the bribe to get into the inner circle. Millionaires don't ask you for Bitcoin at 3 o'clock in the morning, but these guys do. Well, why if they're millionaires? Because it's a scam, guys. If you're a millionaire, and I've had clients that were millionaires, I've had friends that were millionaires, they don't have time to hold your hand for 50 bucks a month, okay? Sorry, they don't. Yeah. And some of the videos are great as far as like the mental game. And I've praised people and supported them for a long time on social media, and they don't return the favor. They don't care about you. You're just an ant or a peasant. They just want you to clap like a baby seal for them. And so I actually got here's my profile. I actually can't even see my followers, and I share the whole screen. I got a temporary label on my account because I posted some stuff that people didn't like. And so I went off on them this morning and told them, that I have a free Discord for a reason so that people don't get scammed like I did. Okay. And I was a stockbroker before most of them were born. All they care about is their paid discords. And I put all this up there because I'm being attacked right now. The videos are getting flagged and I'm getting reported on Twitter because I'm exposing them. And I said a couple of them by name that I've traded with, and they claim they have the puts. And then the Google goes up and they say, "Hey, my calls are paying." And I was trading with these people a long time trying to figure out what I was doing wrong until I realized they were just lying. When they say buy the puts, I'm loading the puts, and then you get a green candle and they say, "Hey, my calls are paying." Okay, that's a lie. That's a scam. And a lot of them were telling people to buy the SMCI. It isn't done yet, and the next day they're bragging about how much they made on the puts. And so I'm asking them here, how many people did you hurt? They don't care, guys. I know you come here for the hot stock tips though, so let's look at what's something that's hot. We traded Rivian a lot, and I posted this all last summer, and nobody cared. Not a single like was given, and we had banger home runs on it. If you zoom out, you can see we've been trading it for a long time. But she came down, and so I have a free Discord, which I took the link off my profile on Twitter because I'm not trying to grow my Discord. I just wanted a handful of guys to trade with, and I have that now because waiting is the secret. Okay, that is the secret. Waiting. If you come here for the hot stock tip, I'll give you one. Don't trade till 10:30. If you trade before 10, like you're trading the open, then you scalp it. You don't hold because there's a pullback at 10 or 10:30 a lot, and it happened yesterday on the SPY, and it screwed a lot of people, right? But here's the Rivian, and she finally bottomed out. We quit trading it for a while, and now it's bottomed out at 10 bucks, and now it's come back up a couple times, and now she's starting to run. Okay, well, I draw entries on the 15 minutes. So I'm on the 15-minute and I got a trend line touching here, 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 here. I like that. The more points that it touches, the stronger that trend line should be. And I have a target entry right there, about 12 bucks. So she's violent. And if you want to trade it, just look at a 1 minute candle at the open. I don't trade the open much, but if you're going to, here's what I do is I'm looking for it to dip in the first 5 or 10 minutes. I don't want something that just goes green, 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 green. I've done that so many times and you can too, but they don't always run them straight up, you know? A lot of times they give us a dip and then it runs up, okay? And so wait for the red before you go in. Let's look at something we hit yesterday and let's talk about why we went in there and why it worked. And here's the Apple on a 1 minute chart, but we trade the 5 minutes. So let's look at the 5 minute. Okay. Now, Apple had been going down for a long time and she finally settled down. Okay. And she stayed down there for a few days. And then I guess it was yesterday or something, it started to curl back up. Okay, so here we are yesterday on the 8th, and it comes out of my zone. Now, it's been chopping this pink zone, and we'll talk about that zone in a minute. This is why I want you to draw your own zones, okay? Because once you start drawing your own zones, even without the trend lines, just drawing your own zones, you can spot the resistance and the support. And notice this zone is marked green because I consider that to be support. Well, it fell below that green zone, which had been support for a long time. We'll talk about that in a minute when we zoom out to the 1 hour. Always zoom out. Always zoom out. That's a secret, right? Always zoom out. So anyhow, she's chopping down here, and then she goes back up. And I told my guys in the Discord that we're gonna get her coming out of this zone. She's just moved over this yellow line, which is the 20-day moving average. It's also moving over the 90-day, which is the purple. I don't use that all the time. But I like the 5 minute chart and the 20-day moving average, which is the yellow line. And as she comes above the yellow, the 20-day moving average, she's also coming out of this zone and she's coming up higher out of the zone right here than she has in the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm saying she's going to try and push into that green zone. I don't know how far she's going to make it or if she goes through it, but she's going to try. And so we took calls in here. Now I sold the calls. And I'll tell you the truth. I put it in my Discord, and the Discord's right here, and it's free. You can go look at it if you want to. I sold the calls and took a little loss or 15% loss or whatever it was, maybe 20%. I don't know. But it was a small bet. It was like a $30 bet. And I had already made my profits for the day. And this was a tiny trade I was messing around. I said, I've already got my profits for the day. We had hit them pretty early and pretty good. And so I said, this candle didn't close my way. It rejected the zone. Okay. A better entry would be after it touches the zone and rejects, and then it tries a second time. Okay. But the Discord members, some of them held, and they posted that they made a good 40% off this. You could have made more if you held it, but I didn't hold because I trade for profit and loss, which the experts, quote unquote, so called experts, tell you not to trade for profit and loss. They're selling you something. They're trying to sell you on the fact that you can't do this without them. You trade your plan your way, okay? And nobody knows your risk tolerance better than you. I trade for profit and loss because if I miss, I don't eat. This is not a small account challenge. This is my real life. Okay. I get a few $100s in disability every month and I have to turn it into 1,000 or two, or I can't pay my bills. So I won't let a green trade turn red. And if I have a good profit for the day, which I did yesterday, and I'm messing around with this $30 trade, as soon as a candle doesn't close my way, I'm out because it's a zero DTE. It expires today. And I'm not going to sit here and hold a zero DTE all day hoping it works out. But this was a good setup, and I said that when I sold, and others elected to hold, and good for them because it paid. In any event, it pushed into the zone. And if you want to avoid getting faked out like I did, let's talk about mistakes, right? You talk about your mistakes, you get stronger. The most of the people on Twitter and YouTube never talk about their mistakes because they want you to think that they're perfect, and they're full of shit. Okay, but if you zoom out to the 15 minute, you don't get faked out as much as you do on the 5 minute. Okay, and on the 15 minute, it was holding a good trend and it stayed above the yellow line, which is the 20-day moving average. So I could have held this. I could have. But I had a good day and I wasn't willing to screw it up, even if it was a small trade. And I only had a couple. I'm not going to ruin my profit for the day because I know that when I'm hitting, which I did, we hit like 4 out of 5 yesterday, my confidence level's too high. And so I think that I can't miss, and I'm going to look for another trade, and I'm going to force a trade. I'm taking a trade because I think I can't miss, and I'm getting greedy. It's my system that I will cut myself off when I feel like I'm trading too much. But if you zoom out to the 15 minute, it was clearly above the 20-day moving average, and I could have held this. Also, as soon as I sold on the 15 minute now, we started getting good wicks on the candles, and it touched into the zone a couple times, telling us it's going to go, and it did. And so that was a good setup, and I'm glad some members of the Discord got paid on that. But my system that I use is to sell when it goes up. And I'll take a 20, 30, 40% gain and I'll sell it. And it always doubles after I sell it, or it triples after I sell it. And I cry over spilt milk. But I also get burned a lot when I hold for the home run, guys. Okay. And so you see these guys on Twitter posting 300, 400% gains. They're selling you a product. They're selling you on the idea that you'll get rich if you trade with them. In my experience, you can use methods like we're talking about this, using the 20 and zooming out to hold the trade longer and get more profit out of it. But again, with risk tolerance, you're the only one that knows if you need that money or not. You should not be playing around with the rent money. But if you're an old man like me and you're using the only money you have to grow so that you can eat and pay bills, then I have to trade scared. I have to trade like a cat in a rocking chair factory. You also have to protect your trading capital. And so they say never let a green trade turn red. Well, never let a green day turn red either, chasing another trade when you're already profitable for the day. Sometimes it's better to just quit. All right. I hope you liked it. I hope it helps somebody. Let's take a look at the Shiba now. I'm not a crypto guy. Okay. But I draw lines on charts. And this is the 15-minute. And I had a trend line from here to here to here. And when it got there, I took some more. Now I had taken it here, and you can see that on the trend line. And then it went up, but then it failed the trend line. So I waited, and here we are a couple days later. I was able to extend this trend line to 2 points here and here. And when it started lifting off this trend line, I took some more. So you can draw lines on charts, and it works for the crypto as well as the stocks. But I'm not a crypto guy. Google was good to us. Let's take a look at Google. But oh, you know what? Let's take a look at the zone on the Apple. And why did we say this about Apple? So zoom out, and it's okay if you don't like my chart. It contains a treasure map to Captain Kidd's buried treasure. Okay. But you can see the zone here about 173, 174 has been support. It goes back to May of last year, and then it touched it in August. It touched it in September, and it failed it in October and went back up through it. Okay. So as it comes down and fails this zone again, and notice right here, when it failed the zone, they did a gap down overnight, and it went right through that zone. Okay. And that's important because where did it stop? At the next zone. And then it only stayed there a couple days and it reversed. And as it reversed, that's the trade I took. It's a pretty good setup if this is zone has been tested many times, that it's going to stop or hesitate there. And I just played it short term, hoping it would try to push that zone again, and it did. Where is it going long term? I don't know. I mean, guys, I don't have a crystal ball, but if you look at something like a weekly chart, and you zoom out, she's been going up, for a couple of years, and now we have a double top here, um, or a triple top, whatever, where it's not reaching a higher high and it's rejecting. Okay, and now if it stops in the green zone, that's great. If not, there's a long-term trend line right here about 159, a long-term trend line on 159 comes off this, and then you have to zoom out to see where the bottom is. So is it going to go to 159? I don't know, but if the market dumps, my bet would be that it stops around here somewhere. Again, we do this for free, and my methods are not the only methods or the best, but we do it for free because I don't want you to get scammed. And there's a lot of scammers out there, and I paid a lot of money and lost a lot of money participating in their scams. There's no inner circle. I paid the bribe to get into the inner circle. It's bullshit. There's no secret system. I paid the bribe to learn the secret system. There is no secret system. They take your money and don't respond. So learn how to do this yourself by drawing zones on charts, and you can do it, guys. And yes, we share the whole screen. We just don't care. Yeah.